Welcome back. At the end of the previous part, we spoke to Matt on guard, but we do have another option which we left and then came back in order to speak to Adrian Andrews. Oh, it's you. I'm sorry to be visiting at such a late hour, but there are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight. Me? I thought your client was Matt. I'm sure Miss Andrews knows something. She can't be clueless about this secret Mr. Garita had on Mr. On Guard. Alright, let's see what we got then. I'd like to ask you about Matt on Guard, if you don't mind. Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean. You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. On Guard. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? And why would you become intimate with his rival? That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing. Celeste Impacts, then. About Miss Celeste Impacts. I had finally put her death behind me. And now, thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface. Ooh. I am sorry. Yes, I was shocked by her suicide. And it's true that when I heard the rumor that Yuan was the one who had hidden her suicide note, began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back and to burn it. You wanted to burn it? But why? I didn't want it to spread like just another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent towards Yuan. I would never do something so stupid. The suicide note, huh? I wonder what it said. Why frame him? Why did you try to frame Mr. On Guard? That's simple. Because he's the killer, that's why. Isn't it the duty of every citizen to inform the police? But there had to be another way. The police are excellent at doing their job. So they'd figure it out, right? Yeah, like they have now. Yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death. Miss Andrews. Well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason. So please, tell me why you did what you did. Revenge. Huh? Did you say something just now? Oh, alright, bloody hell. Just the one? A psych lock, huh? Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer. To be honest, you're more like my enemy. But I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say revenge. It feels like it's going towards roughly what I was thinking previously right now. Is there anything we can, like, present? May as well. It was near Yuan's dead body. I noticed it when I went to fill the glass. And then when I realized that Yuan was dead, I completely panicked. That's when I must have unconsciously picked this card up and put it into my pocket. As for why, I simply don't know. Okay. Can't think of anything else to present to you right now, and I don't feel like we have enough or anything to break your psych lock, so... Okay. There we go. March 22nd, Police Station. Criminal Affairs Department. Oh, Mr. Wright. Please, you have to help me. Uh-oh. Mr. Powers? What happened? Why are you here? What happened? You see, I got roped into this somehow. What? And now I'm going to testify at tomorrow's trial. So the decisive witness is Mr. Powers. I was talking with a detective until a little while ago. I was on my way home. When all of a sudden, "You there, you're under arrest!" and I was brought back here. Oh. They said my face and whole self in general looked suspicious or something. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious. I'm just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? Could be. Depends what nation you're in. Tomorrow's testimony. So, about this testimony you're giving, what are you going to talk about? I really don't know yet. But it sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. Give us more information, please. You saw something important. What was it? Ah, well, the detective told me not to talk about it. Can't tell anyone, and especially not that lawyer, he said. Who do you think is that lawyer the detective was talking about? Gonna take a wild guess and say it's me. Yeah, you got it. Mr. Nick. Mr. Meyer and myself are your only two allies in this whole world, but it's alright. Ouch. I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? And outside of those two that you do, it's very much like, they may be your friends, but they're not exactly on your side. Most of the time. Matt on guard! This is going to do a lot of damage to Matt, you know. Because he's got that refreshing like a spring breeze image going. What is he really like? Well, let's see. Matt's always been kind of a player with women. He would never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say it's just a game to justify himself. What? How horrible! That's unforgivable. Oh, so sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. But you know, he said once that there's only one person in the whole world who won't swoon over me. One person who wouldn't swoon over him. His manager, you know? Miss Adrian Andrews. Why is Mr. Power suddenly looking kind of energetic? What's the gossip? Ah, you see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. I mean, celebrities in their world have this dazzling sort of image, right? A dazzling sort of image. Aren't you a part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers? No, I'm more of a hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind of guy, you see. But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of the other stars around me as things happen. Well, that's true. Oh, hey. So did you hear about this yet? About Miss Andrews' mentor and her suicide? You mean Miss Impax? I heard something about how her wedding was cancelled. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day, about that mysterious death. Hey, Mr. Wright, why didn't you ask me about that? Go on, go ahead. Mr. Powers is so charged up, his skin is practically glowing with electricity. Alright then. Hey, so have you heard this? Celeste left a suicide note. Yeah. And they say that Yuan went and hid it. We heard about that in court today. But there wasn't any actual proof that she had left a note. Well, this is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Something bad for Yuan, that is. Something bad for Mr. Kurita. Why do you figure so? Well, before she died, Celeste talked with a few of her friends. And she said, it looks like I got caught up with a truly insidious man. It's not Kurita, is it? It's like, it's heading roughly to what we were thinking. A truly insidious man. Did she mean Mr. Kurita by that? No. Well, there's no one else that fits the bill, right? And that would be reason enough for him to hide the suicide note. I see. Well, that's some good info. Thank you. You're welcome. Mr. On Guard and Miss Andrews, they're both at the detention center right now. Wait, we gotta go back? There's still things I don't understand or know about them, I'm sure. I have to get the two of them to tell me everything. I don't think I've got enough to break their psych locks. Hello? Mr. Nick, your phone! Hey, that's the Steel Samurai theme song, isn't it? Is it? I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. It sounds kind of ominous. Yeah, I know. Hello? We're in trouble now, pal. I'll be back at the office really soon. What's wrong? Something really unexpected just happened. Mr. Edgeworth, Edgeworth? Anyway, hurry up and get back to the office, pal. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's no good. The end, Hello? He got cut off. What's going on, Mr. Nick? Gumshoe said we need to go back to the office right away. Then we should hurry back. I'm scared to go back. What are you talking about? Mr. Nick, pull yourself together. Maybe it'll be good news. Somehow I doubt that. Alright, let's go back to the office. March 22nd. Wright & Co. Law Offices. Yay. What took you so long, pal? Mr. Edgeworth couldn't stick around forever and had to go. Well, what happened? We got him. We know who bought that spy camera. Eh? This quickly? And this bear's what gave them away, pal. The bear? I figured it out, pal. I figured that we should have been looking into the bear instead of the camera. But wasn't it Mr. Edgeworth that figured? Shh, pals. And, go on. There's only one person who bought one of those bears who's related to this crime. Who is it? Who would be so rude just to spy on another person in their own room? Matt on guard. Huh? Matt on guard. Your client, that's who, pal. And here I thought things couldn't get any worse. Tell us what you know. Are you sure you heard right? That the person who bought this bear was... I heard it from the department store clerk, pal. This is the credit card receipt for the purchase. It's for $3,800, pal. That's an exact match to the price of that stuffed bear. A receipt? That's all you have? Nah, it's not just the receipt, pal. Store clerk said so himself. He told me, I'm sure I sold the bear to Mr. On Guard. I mean, the clerk even got Mr. On Guard's autograph out of it, pal. So I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed bear was Mr. On Guard himself. My sight is failing me. This can't be. Credit card receipt added to the court record. Proof On Guard bought the stuffed bear. Spy camera. So what about the spy camera we found? That was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere. But for now, I guess I can give these back to you to file away into evidence. Spy camera, transmitter, and stuffed bear refiled into the court record. So this means everything was on tape, though. I know you don't want to give up, pal. I didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Yuan Kurita's room was Matt On Guard. Why would Mr. On Guard do something like this? I bet it was to catch Miss Andrews and Mr. Kurita in one of their rendezvous. I bet it's not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera. Are you going to see him? Mr. On Guard, I mean. Yes. I'm scared, Mr. Nick. I wonder what we will find out next. I'm scared myself, but I have to put on a good face for pearls. Matt On Guard, what in the world have you done? Oh, was that it? Alright, let's go speak to Matt then, I assume? You're working really late, you know. It's already past 10 p.m., dude. I think it's time you told me the truth. Relax, don't you know that ignorance is bliss? But if you really want to know, let's talk. Alright, let's talk. I'm gonna have to go with a Magatama at this point, aren't I? I feel like it's gonna be like these pieces of evidence are gonna come up as a way of getting through his Cyclops.
Take that!
Hopefully. Matt's secret. Alright. Now, let's hear what this secret of yours is. What if Mr. Kurita had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude. I don't know. I don't know anything about Yuan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can keep on saying it until I'm blue in the face, but I totally didn't pay Yuan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on, I was in the middle of a nap. Don't lie to me. Huh? I know you paid close attention to Mr. Kurita, especially on that night. Camera.
Take that!
Someone used this camera to secretly film Mr. Kurita's room the night of the murder. Secretly film? What? And then sent the images the camera took with this transmitter. Wow, but dude, where is this camera you're talking about hidden? In the bear?
Take that!
The spy camera was hidden in this bear's eye. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan. That's one. I guess Yuan had a few of those kinds of fans too, huh, dude? Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a, fan. You sure, dude? Who else could it be from? The person who gave this bear to Mr. Kurita was... well...
Take that!
Mr. On Guard? Do you know this bear from somewhere? I don't think I've ever met Mr. Bear before, dude. But he says he knows you. How could you forget such a great friend? What else did the bear tell you? He says that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. On Guard. If I didn't know how you work in court, I'd think I was in some serious trouble. Come on, this is all a joke, right, dude? You're just pulling my leg. Looks like you're not ready to give up your secret yet. Well, do you have any proof you want to show me first? Here is proof that it was you who put the camera inside of the bear.
Take that!
I have here one credit card receipt, Mr. On Guard. It's for when you bought that stuffed bear. Dude, all you can tell from this is that I spent $3,800. I go to that department store all the time, okay? This $3,800, this could be the toothbrush I brought that one time. What? A $3,800 toothbrush. Otherwise known as a $3,800 toothbrush. It's ivory. Whoa. It's got elephant hair for bristles. Ugh. Ew. Elephant hair? What rich people use nowadays? The ivory gets me. You can tell this is an old game, can't you? Anyway, the store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave him an autograph, did you not? Dude, you should have said that earlier. So I can ask you one thing. Yes? You're my lawyer, right, dude? So if you are, then why are you looking into stuff like that? Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you. Sounds more like stupid lawyer talk to me. Hey, let's stop talking about this, okay? No, not yet. I haven't asked you why you set the camera up yet. And what your secret is, of course. It would be strictly confidential. So, what are you going to do now? I'm going to find out what I want to know. Because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Mr. Kurita's room and filmed it in secret is... it could only be... yeah, that.
Take that!
Adrian Andrews? There is a rumor going around that Miss Andrews and Mr. Kurita were having secret meetings. You, who was keeping tabs on Mr. Kurita, you were going to reveal this as fact and turn it into a scandal. Isn't that right? Dude, you can be such a moron. Huh? Oh man, Mr. Lawyer, dude, that kind of scandal. That's the good stuff. That's what we in the industry call juicy. The good stuff? Juicy? Look, we can get publicity without spending a penny with that kind of stuff. I mean, if people stop paying attention to us, then it'd be the end, dude. Too bad that wasn't your intention. What are you talking about? I wish your reason for spying was something so innocent. But it wasn't. You didn't spy Mr. Creeder because of Miss Andrews. There's only one reason I can think of for you to do such a thing. The real reason you set up the camera in Mr. Creeder's room was probably to watch him die. So, the only proof we've really got that that would be a thing that was happening is that. Like that hired assassin. I can't think of anything else that would make it obvious that that's... Although, I was gonna say, like, yeah, John Doe, but, like, Pheonix doesn't know that. We know that, Pheonix doesn't.
Take that!
What is this card? Maybe he doesn't know about this card. Is this a certain man's calling card? He definitely knows about the card, because if you recall how this all started. You know. The man's name is Shelley the Killer, and I'm sure you know of him, don't you? Shelley the Killer? That's ridiculous. Why would I know someone shady scumbag like him? If you really don't know him, then why are you acting so jumpy all of a sudden? This is it. I'm finally starting to get to the truth. Can't afford to make any more mistakes now. Mr. Matt on guard. I know why you know Mr. the Killer. It's because you're his client. Since you're the one who set up that camera, that means you knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So, how would you know something like that? It's because you're his client. That's why. You hired Shelley the Killer to assassinate Mr. Yuan Creeder. The real mastermind behind this whole murder is you, Matt on guard. And here I was, trying to be a good boy for you, dude. I thought if you didn't know, you'd be able to do your job without feeling bad. Well, that's what I thought anyway. Mr. On Guard, you really did hire? Hold on a sec. I'm gonna consult myself, okay? Consult myself? Well, I guess it's probably about time anyway. About time for what? I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer dude. What? Oh. How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt on guard. Where'd the glass come from? Yay! But the music's taking quite a turn here. Matt's secret. Well done, Mr. Wright. I bet it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have. You really... So you are Shelley the Killer's client. You didn't really think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you? What do you mean? And that woman, Adrian, was quite brave herself. Trying to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. But all I cared about is that Yuan is dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer? That's... You're lying. What terrible... It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Go on and let us grown-ups talk about more... adult things. But why? Why did you hide the video camera and... A weakling soon believes the words of others. Just like that pathetic Adrian. He knew about Miss Andrews' secret. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. What? Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding their sinful deed over their heads. And a superstar like me, how much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess? And that's why... Yes, that's where the video comes in. It's got his face and the crime scene recorded on it, preserved for all time. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. That's right. That video is my insurance. Isn't that what you call it, Mr. Wright? Why would you do something so wrong? Because I'm a grown-up and I can. Got enough of an answer for you, little girl? Motive for murder. What? Why would you kill Mr. Kurita? Because he was about to sling so much dung onto my beautiful public image. Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it? Mr. Kurita had been able to give it, but Mr. Unguard's secret would have... Oh, well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know? I had no interest in doing it, really, but bit by bit, it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought. And that's how Mr. Kurita ended up dead. Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used. Used and thrown away. Put on a sweet, innocent face, and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it. The assassin, too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone. All working their butts off for me. Matt on guard. Ah, did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've gone awfully quiet. How could I have been so deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked you if you had killed Yuan Kurita, and you answered very clearly that you hadn't killed anyone. Hey now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was that killer guy, right? All I'm guilty of is taking a catnap in my room. You killed Mr. Kurita. I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. All right. But too bad. You can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? But you can't, can you? And that would be the one thing you absolutely can't do. Mystic Maya. You wouldn't want to test a killer. He's a man of his word. Or so I hear. You could end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. You scoundrel. So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I think I would give it my all tomorrow. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this. That's such a cliché phrase. Yvonne said something just like that, if memory serves. Of course, well, we all know how well things turned out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. Maya, what am I supposed to do? And now you finally found it. The starting line of this case. Edgeworth. I don't care for the horrid atmosphere here. Let's return to the precinct. March 22nd. Police Station. Criminal Affairs Department. Well, right. What are you going to do? If you plan on changing your strategy... No. You can't do that. That's right. He's holding Maya hostage. What should I do? It's not something I can answer for you. Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time, I didn't truly understand what a prosecutor was. And that is why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. Felt that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, right, it's your turn. My turn? Where's this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer, and you must find it on your own. Oh, alright then. But on guard. I'm a lawyer, but to fight for someone who is clearly a killer. But on guard, that man is really... It doesn't matter who. Every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense? What exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery? Ironic that you of all people should say such a thing. Is that exactly how you have fought for your clients up until now? Well, that may be true, but that's because I believe my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. But if I were to get on guard an acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all. Maya's situation. I became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who were suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. Just don't know what to do. Right? Get a hold of yourself. You have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes, we're only human, you and I. You want to save someone? That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say? You are a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do. Why fight? People like you and Franziska von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. I'm not like you. I don't fight for a false verdict, for a man I clearly know to be guilty. Franziska, she fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is her perfect win record. That's all. And? Is that the same as you? Isn't that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed? You are so petty. I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. However, you are mistaken. What do you... Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realize the error of my ways. I realized that things such as a perfect record were meaningless. What? I don't believe you. Are you saying that is why you left the prosecutor's office? But then why? Why are you here now? The answer to that is something you will find out on your own. Have faith you will see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you'll be powerless to change the ending of this story. Beep, beep, beep. Mr. Nick, the transceiver. I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can obtain an acquittal tomorrow? My, what is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please, why are you holding Maya hostage for Mr. Unguard's sake? Why are you doing this to that cold-blooded killer? Right. Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me. A man who hires an assassin is just as much of a killer himself. I believe you're asking me for a reason as to why I'm doing what I am. Yeah? This is what I like to call my aftercare. What the heck is aftercare? My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure no suspicion falls upon my clients for my handiwork. That's what is called client relations and is a part of my assassin's duty. An assassin's duty? You were unlucky this time and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to do to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney. And to ensure that you would do everything in your power to the very end. What is your name? I believe I told you once before. However, you did, but my name is the Killer. Shelley the Killer. You're Shelley the Killer? Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As a killer, I always finish what I set out to do. You failed to keep up your end of the bargain. Maya, it would be my duty as an assassin to see to it she receives a nice long nap. No! Now then, if you'll excuse me, if someone were to trace this signal back to me, it'd be quite troublesome. Mystic Maya, Mystic Maya. I don't know what to say. Edgeworth. Did you hear that? At the end of the transmission. Oh, it sounded like a cat. A cat? It can't be. That cat. Can it? What is it? I think I know where Shelley the Killer is holding Maya hostage. Edgeworth, have all the police units head for Mr. Engarde's mansion immediately. Alright, we'll hurry over as well then. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight has only just begun. Yeah. Let's get going.